Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Kol Holoyim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakah Kodash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith in the works. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 23. It says, Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Hamashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Right? The devil is gonna put on a real deal show, man. So you gotta equate this to Egypt, cause that's why I this is me speaking as a man. I also believe that that's why the Most High, or that's another reason rather why the Most High equates this captivity to Egypt, because the same way we got brought out of Egypt during the time of Masha is the same way we're going to be brought out this time. The devil going to produce his signs, and the Most High going to produce the true signs, right? In order for the devil to try to compete, with Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And one way this devil is going to try to compete is by, creating a false chariot invasion. Right, Second Thessalonians already tells you that this devil tries to place himself as power. Right, tries to show himself to be God. The same way that in Egypt of old, the devil's false prophets tried to show themselves to be real prophets. Right, to hold real power against the power that Masha was granted through, by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Right, so. Let me go to the book of Revelation, because it says when they say lo here or lo there, right? Scripture says when they say lo here or lo there, believe it not. Right? That's the reason why it says believe it not. Right? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so am I. So the enemy knows this, right? The devil know about the chariots of the Most High because it's written in the Word, right? So if it's written in the Word, then that means that the devil, he know the Word just like we do. He just don't have the proper understanding of this thing. He can't understand the dark sayings, right? In the parables, right? But the devil fully understands how Yahweh Shai is coming back. Right? So scripture already warned us, the word already warned us, which is Yahweh Shai already warned us when they say lo here, lo there, believe it not. Right? Because first and foremost, different prophecies have to come to pass before Yahweh Shai, presents himself. The MOTB has to be presented on this earth, famine of the word, right? Uproars of the people, to the point to where you have men breaking into people's houses for lack of bread, right? Utter chaos in the world, right? All of these things have to happen before Yahweh Shai comes back, and Yahweh Shai coming back in the midst of World War III, right? As written in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, right? But with all that being said, I'm gonna let portions of this video play, because this is a deep video. I'm not gonna lie. This is a clip from Redacted. You see the title of it. It says former FBI agent exposes the truth of the UFO invasion. And dude broke that thing all the way down. Even the fact that they not saying UFO no more, but they changed it up to UAP. He wrote a book about this however many years ago. And he was saying that was a sign that they were about to, proceed with that fake invasion. I be damn. They damn sure what they calling them UAPs, right? but he also says that there are real chariots out there. So let me let this man talk.
And I am John D'Souza. I was a special agent investigator in the FBI for 25 years. That was over 25 years, and I was the agent that had several of their stories way back in 1993. There were several of my stories were taken by a show that was going on the air at that time for about a year. It was called The X-Files, and it was using several of my cases, and the FBI actually called the creator of that show while I was there, our bosses at the FBI, and told him, where did you get those stories from? Because they were classified. They were not only classified, they were buttoned up, what we call buttoned up, having everybody sign additional non-disclosures and things like that. And so the creator, Chris Carter, he tells this story today. He had to answer. He was told by the FBI that his show was going to be shut down. And he had to tell them where they got his show, because they were obviously accusing me at the time of giving this information to Chris Carter. That was not the case. And he expressed to them that that was not the case as well. And he actually got the stories from several retired FBI agents that actually were working with me and went to Hollywood to be consultants. And they got my, what we call the OTB book, the off the books notes that I have of cases that that were not really put into FBI files for various reasons. Many of us have those books, and they're very interesting, and they're very good. And other than that, though, I also worked all the big counterterrorism cases as well. That was kind of like my major, while paranormal was kind of my minor at that point. And so that's where I come from. That's what I have done, and I have a lot of things that I share with people these days in my books and in my presentations and everything else that I do. Right.
All right, so you see, this ain't coming from no conspiracy theories. This ain't being pulled out of thin air, not nobody ass. This coming from a person that worked for the government on these specific cases, right? So that should let you know that it's stuff that goes on around the world that you may not, believe in or know about, but that don't mean a damn thing because it's still happening, right? Which also lets you know that, hey, all of these spiritual words that we present day in and day out as it pertains to thus saith Yahweh, you need to be taking heed to it. This is only if you're not, right? But there's this man credentials, right? So let me go to a particular part. Let me see.
Dropbox is linked to my iPad, to my laptop.
It was actually several years ago when I actually wrote my book, The Extra Dimensionals. My book, The Extra Dimensionals, which lays out everything that we've been talking about. It lays out the fake alien invasion. Anybody who follows me knows that I've been talking about this for several years now. And because it's all playing out exactly as I ascertained in my book, The Extra Dimensionals, which, by the way, has just gone back to #1 bestseller on all the Amazon lists in this country because of that. And I've had all kinds of mainstream media trying to contact me. It's blown up like crazily, trying to contact me because my predictions from the Extra Dimensionals are coming true right now. And the main part of that prediction is that we would have this, you hear this buzzword, UAPs,
right,
rather than UFO. We had this elaborate operation. It's a psychological operation, the PSYOP, that has gone forward since I would say about 2012, but it actually goes back to 2004 because the New York Times, the great launch pad of all giant psyops, the New York Times actually in 2012, I believe, revealed, or maybe may have been later than that, revealed this UAP operation where where the Navy has basically, the U.S. Navy, United States Navy has actually taken over the UFO, the entire UFO genre from the Air Force, because all of these things, UFOs, UAPs, should belong to the United States Air Force, like they always have since Roswell in the 1950s, I believe, and the U.S. Air Force has always belonged to this, has always taken over this area. Now it's been shifted because they decided to move into this UAP phenomena, where in 2004 we had a bunch of these sort of silver-colored, and what they are is they're top secret drones. They're drones that possibly use anti-gravity technology from possibly Roswell. That was technology transferred from Roswell. And so we have all of these UAPs. And in 2004, we had a final giant experiment off the coast of California in the Pacific Ocean, where we had the no less a military force than the U.S. Nimitz carrier group, battle carrier group, that was off the coast of California and created a safe space for this final experimentation that went on. That's my description of what happened. In the New York Times and all media around the world, it was described as, well, the Nimitz carrier group just suddenly happened upon these UFOs, and they kind of use softer language to describe UFOs, but they said, oh, this group of UFOs were buzzing around and they were at incredible speeds, and here's the pilots' conversations that they had at the time to tell us about this. It's incredible, it's amazing, and then we had that was the launching of the UAP phenomena across this country.
So it starts there, right? When the New York Times breaks that story, right, and everything. Oh my God! Now we can talk about this, right, in the mainstream, and the Pentagon can start holding. We're going to have committees on this. Congress is looking into this, and
right. So I wanted you. I tried not to interrupt that on purpose because I wanted you to hear what he was saying. Right. This devil basically pushed the narrative out there, right, to let it be known because of things that they are about to do, right? But it get deeper now. Don't get it twisted. Now it ain't all about fake and phony, right? Because they have had instances of real interactions with the chariots, right? Just like all of us have that have seen them, right? So let me get to that part. Let me see.
They are not physical. They are from another dimension. They are from another dimension of reality, and they can kind of manifest physically here for short periods of time. And the same is true of the UFOs that come with them. And he also said they are here for peaceful purposes. We shouldn't attack them, ever. If we do, it will go very, very badly for it.
Now, he is saying that the chariots are not physical, but he was actually talking about, I think he said one FBI agent spoke to an alien or something like that. But you also got the story of the so-called Black Jesus. I forget his name. In the 1960s, where this dude, was in, I believe it was in West Africa, and he displayed like powers, right? And the whole goal of this man coming, now you can look this up. I'm not just making this up, man. I made content on it myself, right? Whole goal of this man coming was to basically warn people of what was to come, and the people he was warning, it wasn't us. He was warning like the leaders of this place that one of these days, many more like him would rise up, and they wouldn't be able to stop him. Just like they weren't able to stop him. I'm talking about they tricked this man into, I ain't gonna say trick, right? Cause right, if he came in that capacity, there wasn't no tricking about it. He allowed them to do what I'm about to tell you, right? They said they were gonna give him an opportunity to speak before people and let them know what time it was for real, but he had to get on the plane and get flown out to a certain place. While he was on the plane, they killed him, chopped his body up, put his body in different boxes, and dropped his body off in different parts of the world, thinking that was it. Once they got to their destination and met up with their higher ups to explain that they did what they did, he manifested himself. The man manifested himself and explained to them what I just said. In the future, there will be many more like me that you won't be able to stop. Right? But we talking about UAPs or UFOs or really the chariots of the Lord. Right? Dude said they are not of this world. They not physical. Right? They are something else. Just the book of Psalms chapter 68 verse 17. The chariots of power are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Yahweh is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. Right? You can't shoot that down, man. You can't handcuff that. You can't beat that. It is what it is. And he gonna explain it. Like I said, yes, he talking about, the fake alien invasion, but he also speaking on real events that happened. Like I said, this ain't no conspiracy theorist. This man worked for the FBI for 20 some odd years, specifically on counterterrorism and extraterrestrial events. So I'm gonna let him talk.
And we saw exactly that happen in 1952 over Washington D.C. when a bunch of UFOs came in over the most protected airspace in the world, and our entire Air Force was sent out after them for the last time. It's the last time any Western nation did that, and until now. And the reason it was the last time is because those over 14 days we saw in the report that came out after that in 1952, we saw that those UFOs just embarrassed all of our military jets and did circles around them, did over-unders, and for 14 days they just humiliated our Air Force and could very easily have destroyed them. Very easily. And they didn't. They just hung around for 14 days for some reason. I don't know why. And they...
14 days is spiritual in itself. Right, 144, 7 2 times, with 7 is completion. Right? Right, notice I said 7 2 times, so you got 144,000 and you got the 1/3. Right? So basically the chariot's been letting Esau know your time is about up. That's what all of this is about. The Most High been sending them chariots down to let Esau know, I'm finna come get my people, man. All right? I'm gonna put my spirit into my men to go out there and prophesy, just like in the days of old, right? Like it's written in the scriptures, right? The prophets prophesied against kingdoms and so forth and so on, right? The Most High will do nothing but he revealeth his secrets unto his prophets, right? The Most High been letting Esau know your time up and I'm about to come destroy you. So do whatever it is you got to do. And notice what else he gonna say. He gonna speak on it. Because one of the means that the Most High is gonna destroy Babylon is through man. He's going to make Esau destroy themselves with ICBM missiles. So let me let this man finish saying what he got to say.
Buzzed all over the Capitol and everywhere. And those appeared to be genuine UFOs at that time. But because they had those abilities to be filled with light, to be shape-shifting properties, and so forth. And so these are the things that we need to look at. so that we can tell when the government is lying to us, when they say things like, yeah, we just shot down a bunch of UFOs. We just shot down. We're not going to show you any of the materials.
And as you can see, guys, the money should have come.
Right. We're not going to show you anything or tell you anything about it. But yeah, just trust us that we shot down. Real UFOs cannot be shot down. We saw that in the Battle of Los Angeles when the entire California coast was militarized against Japanese Zeros. And we had all this munitions out there. And then a couple of very large UFOs came sailing in, and they shot everything they had up at it. All they did was kill about 4 or 5 civilians on the ground. Most of the munitions just passed gently through the UFOs. And then we had cameras that were taking pictures every half second there. And after all the smoke cleared, you saw 2 giant UFOs very happily sailing away, undamaged from this occurrence. Those were genuine UFOs because they had that ability to dematerialize, to have these qualities that only genuine UFOs can have. UAPs don't have that.
So
now, those are 2 accounts of the military trying to go up against the chariots, right? But that I thought it was in that portion, but I'm gonna go to another portion I think it's in, where he was speaking on the chariots controlling the nuclear weapons of the daughter of Babylon. Right? So give me 1 second. Let me try to find this. Let me see. Let's see if this is it.
It appears that these vehicles are man-made. Indeed, they are, but they're not made by the United States. They appear not to be made by Russia or China. However, it does appear that our global aerospace companies probably had several hands in creating these things. And he's talking about McDonnell Douglas, Raytheon, and several other companies that really don't consider themselves American.
All right, so this ain't the portion, but hey, I'm gonna speak on this, because it's just as good. He basically saying it's not one country that's in control of this fake UFO invasion. He's ultimately saying it's a conglomerate of individuals that are controlling this thing. And how he goes about to express it, he is basically speaking about the higher ups that we never see, the people that we always talk about in our video epistles as it pertains to Esau, Edom that runs the world. According to Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? That's speaking about a specific group of individuals. Those are the people that you see at your World Economic Forums, at your Bilderberg groups, at your Bohemian Groves. Right? But like I said, that's not the portion that I'm looking for, so let me keep on searching. Let's see.
Okay, go for it.
The answers are that no, they are man-made. They are man-made things. They are recognizable by the signature silverish sort of skin that they have. It's this, but the shapes tend to be different in every case. There are some that are cigar-shaped. There are some that are larger. There are some that are much, much smaller. Some of them are those tic-tac shapes, those kind of ovals. So they're all different shapes and sizes. However, they have the same signatures of the movement that they are capable of. However, the way that we know they are not true UFOs. True UFOs can be extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional. In other words, they are usually, they have capacity for shape-shifting. They have a capacity for disappearing and reappearing. That is one of the ways that we know genuine UFOs are afoot. We're able to see those qualities in them. These Tic Tacs, these UAPs don't have those abilities. However, I do believe that they have the ability to destroy things, and that's why they're being built up. They are not, and this is the thing we're struggling with even now in our Congress, in our Senate, and in other places. They are man-made, but they appear not to be made by the United States per se.
All right, so he going into the same thing. So give me 1 second. Let me try to find this. Okay, here it is.
It came out several years ago, and all of the history of UFOs, much of it has been benevolent towards mankind. For instance, we've seen since Rendlesham in 1980, when Reagan was in office, we saw these UFOs that had all the hallmarks of actual UFOs, extra dimensional UFOs. They were UFOs that descended on an American military base on British soil in Rendlesham Forest, and we saw them. A lot of them were filled with light. They were obviously in a transitional state of matter. They had the ability to appear and disappear, and they all, now we're finding out, they all went and shut down nuclear missiles that were apparently at Rendlesham, and that has been something that we've seen throughout history. And one of the reasons that because they know that there's something is going to happen with those nuclear missiles at that moment that nobody else knows.
Man. Did you hear that, man? The chariots shut down nuclear missiles because they understood what would happen with those nukes at that appointed time. This is the book of Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Yasharallah." Right? So, I don't know what was going on in 1980, right? But apparently, somebody was finna let loose some nukes for real. And the chariots came and shut them things down. Right? And it's all because a certain number has to be fulfilled. And here we are now, and they openly talking about it. Right? They talking about a fake invasion, and we also getting information on real, right, chariots. Right? Outside of, first our testimonials coming from different individuals such as myself. Right? I even got it on video. So miss me with them, I'm tripping. And made content about it and all that. Right? So that's the beauty of the Most High. The Most High is letting us know, bro. Hey man, everything this knowledge that you have is true. It's for real. The faith that you holding on to is not for nil. It's for a purpose. You just hold on to that faith, and eventually the Most High gonna show the world exactly what time it is. He gonna show the world everything that's being said through the mouth of the prophets. Right? Now, as far as the nukes being held for a particular time, we just read about it. So let me go to further expound upon that. Let me go to the book of Isaiah. Let me see. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 9. It says, "Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it." Right? How's Yahweh going to lay the land desolate? It's going to be through ICBM missiles. And then the chariot is going to come finish the job. Right? Let me go to the book of, let me see. Let me go to the book of 1 Peter. Actually, I think it's maybe 2 Peter. Let me go to the book of 2 Peter. Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, "But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." What's that great noise? That great noise is nuclear ICBM, nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? ICBM for short, tearing up the daughter of Babylon, right? It says, "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up," right? So it's a particular time for those missiles to get launched, right? Let me go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and I'll close out with this. Let me start at verse 5. "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." That's speaking about Yahushua. The sea speaking about the firmament, right? The waters that separate from the waters, right? It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it." That's a huge chariot, right? It says, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." Meaning it was so huge, when he looked up to try to see where was it coming from, he couldn't see it. It just looked like it covered up whatever portion of the sky that he could see all the way. It's just like if you go into the beach. You go to the beach and you look out, you can't see nothing but water. It's land out there somewhere beyond that water, but you can't see it. It just looked like water and sky. All right. So let me see. Verse 8. It says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight." That's World War III. In the midst of it, Yahushua makes his return. Right? They're going to be terrified at what they seeing, but they're going to continue to fight. Because the Most High, Yahushua going to put the spirit on them to do so. Right? It says in verse 9, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." Right? That's literally talking about Yahweh Shai flaming up the daughter of Babylon through the chariots. Right? You can call them lasers, you can call them plasma beams, whatever it is you want to call them, that's where it's going to be used. Right? Verse 11, it says, "And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." Right? So that's the chariots part. We read about the ICBM part. Now we just read about the chariots part. Let me go a little bit further into the ICBM part, because maybe you say, well, 2 Peter, that was speaking about what you just read. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 17. Right? Verse 1. "And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." Who's the her? Right? Verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right? It's Mystery Babylon. It's the daughter of Babylon, which is America. All right? The woman that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Right? The Western mindset that took over the Eastern mindset. Right? Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Right? The daughter of Babylon. Right? So it's going to get tore up by the kings of the earth through them ICBM missiles. Then the chariots going to come finish the job. Right? In the midst of all of this, there will be salvation of the elect, according to the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Right? Revelation chapter 15. In the midst of all of this chaos and destruction, that's when salvation comes for the elect of Yasharallah that have been faithfully holding it down, right? That showed the Most High love before all of the chaos broke out. Scripture says, I love those that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me, right? And I said, man, it becomes more evident with every story that comes out that this word is true. So if you don't believe it, that's between you and the Lord. At the end of the day, the judgment already written for individuals who have that mindset. But if you do believe, keep holding on, man, because it look like we almost out of here. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Ratazah, we are. All right, so with that, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Kol Holoyam La, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash, Shalom Yashallah.